For 54 hours straight, the Geopolitics World Cup delivered a relentless barrage of football. 16 matches played out in rapid succession, leaving fans addicted. But then, momentum hit a wall. This chart shows daily matches dropping off a cliff into a 36-hour void. Look at that single remaining data point. It represents one solitary fixture carrying the tournament's entire weight. Canada versus South Africa. The stage for this standalone event was Los Angeles, dropping us right into the territory of the tournament's co-hosts. The Canadian squad was staring down a massive objective, securing their first ever victory in the knockout stages of the World Cup. When a nation can achieve its greatest sporting milestone on home soil, you expect to witness a beautiful, cinematic masterpiece of a match. The actual match immediately derailed those expectations. Journalists in the press box universally wrote it off as an absolute stinker. The highly anticipated showdown devolved into a brutal snooze fest. Match data explains why. This visualization of offensive metrics reveals near zero values, fewer accurate passes than a training drill, and 0 shots on goal. As the timeline stretches past 90 minutes, the flat line holds steady. This goalless anti-football persisted for 100 continuous minutes. Credit for that stifling environment goes to the South African national team, who set up a resilient, unified defensive wall that Canlets simply couldn't crack. It raises an uncomfortable question. If the gameplay required to reach a massive historical milestone is entirely unwatchable, does the achievement itself lose its shine? As the clock ticked past 90 minutes, fans and players alike were staring down the barrel of an additional half-hour of extra-time tedium. The psychological toll of that impending slog was heavy. Every missed pass and blocked run added to an unseen, suffocating internal pressure that threatened to break the exhausted squads. That left only stoppage time, a brief, chaotic few minutes added on by the referee to compensate for pauses in play, and the absolute final window of opportunity to end the game in regulation. In that desperate final window, the tension finally snapped, thanks to Canadian midfielder Stephen Eustáquio. Out of nowhere, Eustáquio found a sliver of space and struck. A sudden, sharp offensive rupture sliced through the deadlocked defense. The mechanics of the tournament took over instantly. South Africa was eliminated, and Canada survived to fight another day in the last 16. One sudden, effective strike was all it took. That singular moment of execution erased the memory of 100 agonizing minutes of terrible football. The final whistle shifted the focus, straight from the exhausting pitch to an explosive emotional release on the Canadian sidelines. At the center of it all was head coach Jesse Marsch, bringing his unapologetic, highly performative style of leadership to the global stage. Marsch practically vibrated with physical enthusiasm, loudly belting out the anthem and passionately kissing the badge of his adopted nation for the cameras. He then gathered his squad on the pitch to deliver a deeply earnest message, explicitly telling them that they were Canadian heroes for the future children of the country who play the sport. It's easy for critics to mock that kind of American theatricality, just as it's easy for purists to look down their noses at an objectively ugly path to victory. But you cannot argue with the raw facts of the night. Canada secured their first ever knockout stage game, scored their first knockout stage goal, and claimed their first knockout stage win all at once. Decades from now, the record books won't document the passing accuracy, the missed shots, or the 99 minutes of boredom. They will only validate the permanent milestone, an ugly, beautiful win that keeps the host nation's path to ultimate World Cup glory wide open.